Okay. We'll go ahead and get started. We just want to have a very brief press conference highlighting a very special moment in this facility's history and in the event's history. If you'd have told me a decade ago to place odds on whether the IndyCar event in Birmingham would make it a decade or Auburn would make the Final Four, I'm not sure which would have higher odds. But there were many skeptics when we first started, and I think this community, this facility has proven wrong. And this event has been very successful and has a very, very bright future. When we started, we literally chased IndyCar around the country for 2 years. We would show up at events unannounced and say, "We're here, we want to talk." And I distinctly remember the first time that I met Tony George, he literally turned around and walked off. And we kept at it, and then it culminated in a meeting over in the museum with Mr. Barber, the governor, and Tony George. And the governor at the time put on this most beautiful press about, and it's true, about the automobile industry in the state and how this race would help support that and vice versa, and how it really spoke to Alabama's future in so many ways, with Honda in particular being in Lincoln. And when he summed it up, that's all that needed to be said. Tony George shook his head, and we were off for 10 years now, our 10th year. This year we've sold tickets in 42 states and in 8 countries around the world. The economic impact of this event is $30 million according to the Greater Birmingham Convention and Visitors Bureau. We've got great sponsors in Honda, T.E. McHale in the back, and AmFirst, our presenting sponsor. But the star of this show is undoubtedly this facility, Barber Motorsports Park. And every chance I get, I briefly tell people the story. This is the largest philanthropic project by an individual in the history of this state. George Barber doesn't own anything here. He donated a vast, vast sum of money, 9 figures, to make this happen. He donated it to a foundation, and the foundation owns everything here, including the contents of the museum. It's his gift back to our community. And this will continue for generations to come. This gift will keep giving back in terms of tourism and economic development. And he hates when I do this, but please give Mr. Barber a round of applause. You see this legend right here, sitting in between his Formula One car and his '69 Indy 500 car was phenomenal yesterday. And that type of history could not have occurred without his vision. And I'll say it for him, no good deed goes unpunished. He had to work to give that money away. It wasn't always easy with red tape, but he persevered and was determined to make it happen. It's going to continue to grow and get better. This year, I'm very excited. We've got lots of different things going on. Our strategy's always been to have lots of different ancillary events to bring non-race fans out here and then get them hooked on IndyCar. And we think that's happened. This year, for the first time at 5:30, we're going to have a 5K on the track. And I think some of the drivers are going to run. I hope they are. We have over 300 people who've signed up to run the 5K, the Indy 5K on track this evening. For the first time ever, we've got an art festival. We've got more than 40 Birmingham artists who are going to be displaying their artwork over in Line E, right beside our wine festival, where you can go and sample, if you're of age, all kinds of different wine and actually buy the wine on site. Last year we sold over 100 cases of wine at the race. We've, of course, got the Kids Zone with the Ferris wheel and the Coca-Cola Family Expo with music, a cornhole, giant bowling, a ladder ball, and kids inflatables. And something that Honda really pushed us on was a workforce development effort. The state of Alabama, as is the state of Indiana and others, are really pressed to find quality workers to work the assembly line or work in their manufacturing facility. So we've turned this into a job fair. And Honda is leading the charge, and if you get a chance, please go to to the workforce development area in the fan zone. It's directly across from us here. Honda's actually going to be building a car from scratch, a Honda Passport from the first nut and bolt all the way up to the entire automobile on site to demonstrate the technology that is involved in building a Passport in Lincoln. But to give young people, we've got 1,100 Birmingham City School children coming this morning to take a tour and to learn more about a career in automobile manufacturing or any number of sort of industries, and to give them a path for their future. And so that's another beautiful part of this race that we're so proud of. For our 10th anniversary, we wanted to bring together all the drivers who have won here. And we do a lot of golf tournaments around the world, and there's an old saying in golf about different horses for different courses. In other words, if you win at a place, you consistently win at a place. And that is exactly what has happened here. Our first champion couldn't make it. He is retired, Elio Castroneves. But then we had repeats all across the board. I'd like to bring forward our 2011 and 12 champion, the defending champion of the Indy 500, Mr. Will Power. Quick story about Will. He came to my son's school. I don't know if he even remembers this. Marshall was 7 years old, and he didn't have anything for him to sign, so he signed his arm. We went to baseball practice that night, and Marshall's climbing a chain link fence, fell, and broke his arm right where Will found it. Will went on to win the race that year, so I think it was a good omen. Break a leg, he broke an arm. I just came up with that. The 2013 and 2014 champion, Hunter-Reay. And this gentleman loves this facility. We like to call him our own, even though it's Nashville that was originally his home. The 2015, the 2017, and our defending champion, Mr. Joseph Newgard. The park has put together a nice memento commemorating our 10th anniversary that we're going to give to each of you guys. You can't own the track, but you can have a piece of it. So there's an actual piece of the Barber Motorsports Park where you won, and we hope you treasure, because we treasure you guys. You've been great champions. We do sport all across the country, and I've said this consistently, Jay. The IndyCar drivers are the best that we deal with in terms of dealing with the media, the sponsors, the fans. You guys are phenomenal. You're very accommodating, and that,
2016 race winner, Barber. I love the track too. It's awesome to be here. Thank you.
say it in Southern. Speak Southern. Say thank you, y'all.
Thank you, y'all. I was just wondering if I should put my suit on this morning. Yes. I did good, so you saw me.
They kept pointing at. I'm like, what are y'all pointing at? It's right here. I would say it wasn't on my list, but it was on my list. So I apologize. And you get one. We'll give you two of these, okay? I didn't know this, but our next speaker was your father or grandfather, the mayor?
My father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
This is going to give you big points. Keep going.
Oh, you're going to say this?
Oh, you can.
Oh, his father-in-law was mayor of Bell City.
Yeah.
At one point. Today?
Double.
No, 2 terms? Okay. So Jay Frye, the president of IndyCar, has deep roots here too. And I want him to come forward and bring some comments on behalf of IndyCar. Jay Frye.
It's great to be in the great state of Alabama. He just won me $5 by mentioning Bell City, so that got me something. Obviously, we come back here, it's great for me and my family because they all come, and it's kind of a homecoming for them. IndyCars are probably the most diverse racing series in the world. We race on road courses, short ovals, super speedways, and great facilities like this, which we were watching TV this morning, watching commercials about Augusta, and this is probably our version of Augusta. We love coming here. It's been a great 10 years. We can't thank Mr. Barber enough, Ryan enough, Gene enough, and George enough. We're certainly looking forward to coming back for 10 more years. And we're glad to be here this weekend. The weather looks like it's going to be okay. We got some great athletes that's going to do a great job this weekend. So thank you for having us.
Like most races, we bring in a Grand Marshal every year. And over the years, we have had Bo Jackson, Bart Starr, Charles Barkley, Joe Namath, and last year Channing Tatum. And by far, the biggest response we've received is with this year's Grand Marshal, by far. It's an honor to bring up the most iconic driver in history in my mind. I have to say this, growing up in the 60s and 70s, if you went too fast in your car, your friends would go, "Oh, you're going Mario Andretti on me now, aren't you?" It's an adjective. I know you've heard that all your life, but it's true. But you're also a class act and someone very special. Please welcome our 2019 Grand Marshal, Mr. Mario Andretti.
One slight correction. Jay said that this series is probably one of the most diverse series on the planet. It is.
There we go.
There's no other series that can compare to what IndyCar actually provides in our sport. And here again, thank you so much. One thing I know that I know what I miss by not coming every year at this particular race, and it took this official invitation, and I'm so happy that it happened because I never had the opportunity to really drive on this course. I was here like 10 years ago, and I was a bit nervous based on what Marco was telling me, how he likes it, and how challenging it can be. And so yesterday I first got the opportunity to get in a two-seater, and I love it. I love it. I think isn't it something? I mean, this is a place where you really can attack, and it seems like there's so many couple different areas where you can, that you can really improve. So you got always something to look forward to. But this facility is just absolutely stunning, just Mr. Barber. I mean, you are proud. You should be very proud of what you have here. I mean, from the minute you enter, you know that this is like a place where you want to be. And so again, I'm just so thrilled, and I can't wait for the race to get going here. But I hope I don't screw up the gentleman part. I probably said gentlemen, but I'm not anymore. But other than that, thank you for all the compliments. I've been so blessed in my days in my career that I've had the opportunity to actually retire on my own terms, and for that I count my blessings every day. This is the sport that has been my life, and what makes it also just that much more important for me is that I still have a lot of skin in the game, with my son Michael and the third generation with Marco, and then even on my brother's side we have a couple of drivers there. So as you can see, we don't know any better. That's all we know. That's all we live for. And but here, everything is perfect. All we need a little bit of sunshine. I think that's coming. So I think we have a lot to look forward to as the weekend begins. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we have a gift for you. We have an artist who's done quite a number of paintings for us, especially for our Barber Vintage Motorsports Motorcycle Festival, which is the largest vintage motorcycle festival in the country. If you would come up, her name is Ann Higgs. She is tickled to present this original piece of artwork to you over here. Ann, you want to say a few words, or?
I really hope you like it. I'm so honored to have been
give him on behalf of the museum? Jeff, you want to come up and explain? Jeff Ray, the executive director of the museum, does a fantastic job. Jeff Ray.
Welcome everyone, and Mario, we're really proud you come in and join us. I know you were here 10 years ago, but it was on a whirlwind tour, you were in and out pretty quick. But glad you have time to spend with the weekend and come back up and spend some more time at the museum. What I wanted to present you with is a book that Mr. Barber signed. It's the Legends of Motorsports. I believe you'll find that you may be in this, but just limited editions. They're not really available to the public, except for at the museum. Again, thank you for coming to Barber.
Really appreciate this very much. And I'll show Marco. So I'll say, Marco, now you do your thing.
Well, that'll do it. All the drivers, Mario, Mr. Barber, everyone's available for interviews. I want to thank everybody for coming, and we'll look forward to a great weekend. Thank you very much.